it's sort of humorous when Jesus says, "Who touched me?" and his crowds are just jostling him all around. He had been doing many, many miraculous healings, and he was drawing a big crowd in the area of Galilee when this was happening. And so you can imagine this big crowd around him. Who is this guy? He's been making people who are lame their entire life walk, healing the blind, obviously a very divine man walking the earth. And so all the crowds, anybody that heard of him, started following him or trying to find out where he was. And you can imagine this jostling crowd, like, no, let me get closer. No, what are you doing here? I thought you were supposed to be back home, and, distracted and talking and busy. And here's this woman with just one thought. I have faith that I touch him. If I touch him, I will be healed. And she just had one pointed intention, one priority, nothing else in her heart, nothing else in her mind. And with that openness and love of this master, she touched his garment and was instantly healed. And he said, by your faith, you have been healed. So, and what is that faith? What is that openness to receive that power that nobody else there had? And that's why when Jyotish and Devi were also speaking this morning, that how can you get that one-pointed connection with the Lord? And that's why Yogananda ji was pointing all the time to meditation, because in meditation we learn that one-pointed focus and concentration here at the spiritual eye. But also from the first day of the first meditation class, we are learning concentration. And we keep that concentration going through everything that we learn. And then when we can absorb ourselves in that light at the spiritual eye, in that peace that we're feeling, it's then that we're open enough to receive God's power, Guru's grace, guidance, whatever can come. But we have to do it with intention, and we have to practice. We have to practice. When, the masters, the great masters, Jesus during this story, and also the great masters always with their consciousness, they are always channeling God's infinite power to us. Just like they were saying today, the sun is always there shining. It's us who may obscure the sun with cloudy moods or desires or attachments or distractions. But if we would but be willing to receive that channel. So here's the masters, always channeling. And then what is our point in this? What is our part in it? To be good disciples and say, this relationship, this master, this power is flowing through and I want to receive it, and have that desire to receive it. That desire, that love, that this master, this being can give me what I like, what I need, and what I'm really looking for in my life. When Swami Kriyananda was living at the ashram with Paramhansa Yogananda, Yogananda said, it is up to you all to draw from me. It is up to you to pull what I have to give. And so Swami Kriyananda was very good at pulling. And as we know, that, he would always, he knew that his guru was the channel of God in all things. And so he would just, with faith, move forward to start Ananda, to start these spiritual communities. He would just sit down and start writing, and he would manifest a book. He would sit down and just immediately a melody for a song would come, and the lyrics for the would come, and he was acting with that faith that through his guru, everything he would need to accomplish what Guruji gave him to accomplish. He said, you have a great work to do. And Rajarsi said, and Master will give you the strength to do it. And so at every turn, he had that faith that what I need will come to me at the time that I need it. And he demonstrated it again and again. And so as it gets demonstrated again and again, we have more faith. It's like, this works. This works. So even if we're new at drawing on God's power, Divine Mother's power, that power through the Guru in our lives, we need to start practicing. And, Swami Kriyananda was not calculated in his thoughts, well, like, if I do this, then this will probably turn out like this, and so, therefore, it will be successful. He would just act. He was not calculated in his thinking of what should I do next, who should I talk to, who should I call, what should I do. He just acted, and everything manifested. And, he also had spontaneous healings, and that was often before big events. Swami Kriyananda did not have good health much of the time, and most of the time people said, Swami, we have to cancel this event. And suddenly he would have this spontaneous healing. He'd say, well, no, don't cancel it. I will find the strength. And sure enough, even if it was the moment before the event started, that strength would come, and he would get up and just give an hour and a half discourse as if nothing had happened at all before. And I don't know, many of you know that at 77 years old, a couple of devotees from India wrote and said, you need to come to India and make our Guru better known in India. This was in 2003. And instantaneously, just from that letter, he said, I will go. And he moved from Assisi to India in 2003, and then, as you know, left the body in 2013. He gave it no thought. He said, this is a sign. I know that this is from my master, and I will go. So the other thing that the guru-disciple relationship can do, as we can see, if we have the power and the receptivity to draw, you can turn ordinary people into extraordinary beings. And even if you can look at your own life, however much you have been changed by the Guru, by meditation, by the teachings that they have brought, and you just think, I have changed this much. But think of the infinite possibilities if you continue that path and are so dedicated to continually wanting to absorb yourself in their vibration and be able to be receptive to that power, to that wisdom, to that light, to that love, to that bliss that's always being beamed to you. Yogananda would say all the time, and so would Swamiji, and so do we, those who received him received that vibration. Those who received him, to them gave he the power to become the sons of God. And that's how we also can become extraordinary beings. And we are becoming extraordinary beings just by walking the path, by being strong on the path, and despite the obstacles that come, with even-minded cheerfulness, not miss our meditation. We think of what is our relationship with God. We say every day, Father, Mother, Friend, our God. We have to have faith in that relationship. Yogananda wrote a poem, Thou and I Are One. And in it he just says, you are my father, I am your son, we are one. You are my mother, I am your child, we are one. That oneness is something we have to have faith in. That oneness is what we experience in meditation, one of the reasons why we do meditate. And Master would say, in your prayers to God, give a loving demand, because that's what you would do to your parents, and that's what Jyotish and Devi were just talking about also. And Yogananda said, pray with God's power. Pray with God's power, if you will have the results of the prayer that you're looking for. And so why Yoganandaji, why this line of gurus have emphasized Kriya Yoga and meditation so much, is because with that developed concentration, we can absorb ourselves in God's presence and expand that presence of calmness, of peace, of love, of bliss, and then expand that within ourselves and expand that in the world around us for all the people in our lives and beyond. And so as we receive, so we share, and that channel just keeps that, the gurus can keep flowing to us. And that may be just now in our meditation practice, like, okay, maybe once a day, hopefully twice a day, we're having that absorption in that vibration. But then what Jesus said was pray without ceasing. We get to the point where we can feel that absorption, the receptivity, that soul receptivity of the light and wisdom and power that God is giving to us all the time. And then we bring it into our daily life, and it gets to the point where meditation and daily life are not separate anymore. We can just feel that vibration all the time, and we go deeper into it, and our soul receptivity gets better and better. We get more and more practiced at it, so that no more it becomes like, what should I do? I just do it. I do it because I'm that channel. You know, I just take this step. I take another step. I turn right. I turn left. I don't have to think about what should I do next, because the power of God is flowing through us, or the power of the Guru's consciousness, and then we're just attuning ourselves to that as that link to that infinite wisdom and power. So, you know, that as Nayaswami Jyotishan Devi just said, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and everything else will be fine. All other things will be added unto you. We tend to think we have to take care of this and this and this and this before I have time to sit down and meditate, or before I have time to get serious about my spiritual path. It's exactly the opposite. Seek first God. Everything else will work out in the way that your soul's destiny is planned. You know, you will learn the things you need to learn. You will grow in the way that you were supposed to grow. You will guide your family in the way that it needs to be guided, and it doesn't have to be your little egoic intellect figuring it out. So the other thing, it says, knock and the door shall be opened unto you. Ask and it shall be given. So this is how we can live our life.